I hope you're doing great today. This one actually started out on paper, and it was really intricate and took a lot of shapes, and I put it all together and I liked it because I'm like, oh, this circle connects with this circle, and then I can just keep these circles going and have this really intricate, involved pattern. And then I said, you know what, it's a little too busy. So then I took away the half hexes, and I'm like, yeah, I still don't think that's right. That's still a little bit too much. So then I took away all of the green squares and half hexes and hexes and came down to this little block here. And then I said, let me do some different layouts with this. And you know, sometimes simple is just best. And I really kind of like the way this looks. So what I was thinking I would do at this point is just go through and then put in my shapes and maybe the same color scheme and maybe even kind of random, and just see what do I think about this. And I actually do kind of like this better. And at one point I had done this layout using just my reds, and I thought that looked really cool too. So if you're doing something that's a color theme, this one I've got stitched, so I can't pull that one away. But look how cool, this makes it all geometric. And you can do every space the exact same fabric if you want. And I do have two different patterns here I've got the stripes, this is a checkerboard, and these are polka dots. And I really like how all of these different ones go together. But then again, if you want to keep something on a holiday line, which was my original thought process, these all kind of go together just so cutely. And you can do something like this and just keep it going that way. So this would be a green. So I did have some trouble with just two fabrics and keeping those going because see, the pattern changes again. So you probably need more than at least two fabrics for the contrasting colors, but play around with it. I really hope that you like how this looks. I think this is so cool. I've seen where these have been done in a darker color, and then these have just been kept white. So to me, these almost look like snowflakes, so I'm still leaning towards maybe doing all light blue, just because then it kind of lends to that snowflake look. But another thing you can do is where all the corners meet, do the same fabric. Let's see, which one do I have three of? Okay, so I have three of these. So like at every intersecting point, do the same colors. And I think that's a very unified look as well. So then when you get to the next one, sorry, it would be like this. But anyway, I really hope that you guys liked this layout. Like I said, it started with a coloring sheet and it grew and grew and it kind of got crazy, and then I said, let me dumb it down. So at this point, let me take a few minutes and show you how to do each of these pieces and what they are. Let's base some of these shapes that you may have never seen before. Sometimes I like to use the binder clips for shapes that are a little large. You can also use quilt clips. On the pieces that tend to be rather large, I like to have a little bit extra seam allowance on those. It's personal preference, whatever you'd like to do. As you can see, I'm finger pressing because I want it to lay on those corners very nicely. Now for this particular shape, what I have been doing is clipping one side. And then I'll go to the next corner and fold it down just like this. And I'll take my needle and thread and just do a couple of stitches to tack it in place. You see that? I'm gonna do one more. And I'm going to leave that binder clip there. I'm going to come up here to this point, and I think y'all have seen me do this before. I fold it and then I wrap it around all the way to the back, and I press it really hard, and I feel like that gives me a really good pointy edge. Now I'm only going through the fabric, not through the paper. If I were to sew through the paper, it would dull the needles, and it would be really hard to get these papers out. This is cardstock. I cut mine on my Silhouette, my Cameo Silhouette. I know I've done a few videos on that as well. So here I am at the next corner. I'm just continuing down. Do you see that? So we're getting nice points. And part of it is because we did the finger pressing. And I'm back here to this narrow point again. Another wrap, fold it under, press it, and then stitch just the fabric. Now I'm back to the side with the clip that was holding it all in place. You can see now I can do my last one. And for me, that works really well. You may have a different way that you do yours, but for me, this works. And if you want a really clean finish, put it back underneath before you cut your thread. Then you don't even have a tail. So there's that shape there. Now with my square, I've actually, since I have this pattern and I want them all to look the same, I've actually cut my fabric a little bit larger than what I needed, because you can see I've got the dark edge on each of the sides. So I've got to line that up very well. I don't know, that's not going to give me a big seam allowance on that side. Let me come over here. So I probably could have cut this fabric a little bit larger. There we go. So now it looks like we're going to have a seam allowance on all sides. Like I said, I love to finger press. It just really helps keep it all where I want it. This one I probably don't need a binder clip. So we'll just start in a corner. See, I've got it nice and tight. I use my fingernails a lot. And do a couple of stitches here. Looks like I grabbed a little bit of fabric that I didn't need to. Okay, go to the next one, and I'm always folding the same direction. I don't know if you've noticed that. Now with this big corner here, I'm gonna go underneath through this back fabric and then come back up through the piece that's folded on top. Do a couple of stitches there. I'm going to do the same thing here. You don't have to do it this way. This is how I do it. I find it's a little bit easier once I'm stitching the pieces together. If I need to move this out of the way, then I have more ability to do so. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. So now I am at the last one. I'm going to put a few stitches, knot it, and like I said, for good practice, if you want to just pull it through before you clip it. So here I've got another square to go with all of my others. We've done this shape. Let's do a diamond. Diamonds are basically the same as the irregular hexagon and the square. You're just gonna keep them going the same way. The holes are very useful if you want to pin the fabric down. That really helps hold it in place. Finger pressing is just a good habit. You don't have to, I know a lot of people don't. Wrap it, fold it under. I think I cut these a little large as well, but that's okay. 1/4 inch is what's preferred by most quilters. I like 3/8 of an inch. It's just 1/8 of an inch larger. And it just gives you a little bit more to work with. And if your fabric starts to unravel while you're working with it, you don't have to worry about that because you've got more of a seam allowance. So just keep it going. You can see I'm still wrapping everything in the same direction. And then for my last one. Then I have nice points on everything. I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know what you think. Let me know what layout you like best. Thanks so much, guys. Okay, so the different pieces that you need here is you're going to need a hexagon. This hexagon measures 2 inches. This shape here I have now discovered is called an irregular hexagon, and all of its sides measure 2 inches. What makes it different from a honeycomb is that this angle is not 45 degrees. As you can see. So that makes it a little different. Now what this actually is a triangle, a square, and a triangle. And that is this shape put together. So if you did go to, for example, paperpieces.com and you were to order this, you would get, I don't know if you can actually read my measurements on here, you would get a 2-inch irregular hexagon where all the sides are 2 inches, and then the points here are 60-degree points. I hope that all makes sense. So you need those, and for each one block, you need 1 hexagon, 6 squares, 6 diamonds. Now your diamonds are also the same. They're going to be 2 inches by 2 inches. And the same dimension as the points of this irregular hexagon. And then you'll need 6 irregular hexagons for each. Now when you do put these together using your irregular hexagon, you actually don't need any other pieces. But if you did want to join it with complete blocks, like each one has its own color. So for example, I do pink all the way around on this one, and I do teal on this one, and then for example, I'm gonna do baby blue on this one. And I'm just butting these irregular hexagons together. What I end up with here is a 4-inch triangle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you were gonna join these with a triangle, you would use a 4-inch triangle, or you could use 4 of the smaller size triangles. I don't have any laying around. But anyway, I hope this is giving you some great ideas to use these irregular shaped hexagons. I'm so glad that I finally found what they're named. I hope you follow me on Instagram, find me on Facebook. Please like and subscribe. I do have some other YouTube channels out now. One is called My Crafty Endeavors, and the other one is Learn to Crochet. Thanks so much, and happy sewing.